Sierra Oscar Foxtrot, this is 614. Status check on podcast. I'll copy over.
614, this is Sierra Oscar Foxtrot. Roger, copy all. Podcast going live. Time now.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Sierra Oscar Foxtrot podcast, where 1 out of 1 podcasters view this with a 2 thumbs up. Guess we know who that would be. Slightly biased. And with me today is none other than the awesome Brian, the barbecue boss, Penrod.
It's me.
So, exciting to see you here today. I didn't know this was ever going to happen.
I didn't think so either.
So, tell us, where are you coming from?
Like where I was born and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Can I cuss on here?
Let's start, You can say whatever
I'll try not
the
to
fuck
cuss.
you want.
So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. And then my dad joined the military in the Army, so we moved out to Alexandria, Virginia. And then later on, he got stationed at Fort Bragg, so I actually went to high school right here, 71st, and Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Now, back in your day, I like to say that. I'm sure we're closely not the same age, but there's a couple years between us. I'm sure.
Yeah, sure.
So back in your day, the 71st high school around here, was it? You think it's the same as it is today? Was it pretty rough?
Yeah, it was a bad school.
Bad school. Okay. So no change there. 71st high school.
No change.
Retains its title.
I had a lot of good friends. I made good friends there.
That's good. Wow. So you went from the Show Me State to here, North Kakalaki.
Yep.
And because I went to basic and AIT over there at Fort Boston Woods.
Yeah.
So I saw a little bit of that. It was fun.
Yeah.
Night and day. Like I went in the summertime, and of course I'm from Florida, so no jacket or anything. It was goddamn cold, and it was June. I'm like, what the fuck? Give me my new shit, please.
Yeah, you can get cold there.
But so aside from that, okay. So what did you do down here growing up? Like you're in a military town.
So I'm just a normal high school kids do. But I played sports, played football for 71st, and we won the state championship a couple times and all that stuff. So. And I worked at Chi-Chi's, some Mexican restaurant, you know what I mean?
Chi-Chi's. Isn't that a chain? That's a chain.
It's a chain, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could just imagine Brian Penrod, the server.
Yeah. No, I was a busboy.
The busboy, okay.
They wouldn't let me talk to the customers. Because, they would go around and hand out the chips and salsa, and they fired me. It's like, hey, you can't talk to the customers anymore. Just bust those tables. I don't know what I did wrong.
Oh, man.
I had been rude about something.
Well, so what was your influence getting into the military? Was it just because you're in the military town?
No. So I never wanted to be in the military, but I was a football player. My whole dream was to be a pro football player, and started both ways. In high school, I played all the special teams. I was on the field all the time. We were state champions. We were always we were ranked in USA Today. So the other kids on my team were getting scholarships. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I wasn't getting a scholarship. I was like, hey. Well, this pussy over here got a scholarship. I'm not getting a scholarship.
Yeah.
So I asked the coach about it, and coach was like, well, Penrod, all you're taking is weightlifting, shop, and English. You don't even qualify to go to college. I was like,
Those other classes are just they're electives.
And he said, if we had guidance counselors back then, I have no clue. You know what I mean? My parents didn't guide beyond that, getting into college and stuff. So I was like, man, I'm going to join the military then or something, So Grenada had just happened not too long earlier, and we had some Delta guys who lived on our street or whatever. So I asked my neighbor, he was a captain over there. I asked my neighbor, I was like, hey, who's those guys that jumped into Grenada? He said, it's Rangers. I said, So I joined in, went over to the Army recruiter and said, hey, I want to be one of those guys that jumped into Grenada. I said, all right, so that's what I did.
Nice, direct and to the point. I tell you what, I always wanted to be in the military growing up, Though I wanted to be in the Air Force. And I waited. I took my ass back. The Army guys were the first to call me. And I'm like, yeah, great. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we got your ASVAB scores, want to sign up? And I'm like, let me get back to you on that. I'm waiting for another call.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps guys, and then no call from the Army.
I don't
or
know
the
if
Air
I got
Force.
any calls. I just know I walked into the Army recruiter, told him I wanted to be one of those guys who jumped into Grenada.
That's cool. Now, did he follow through on his promises?
Yeah, so I got so I was an idiot. I could have got a bonus. I didn't get a bonus. I had, they made me score a certain amount on my ASVAB, which I can't remember. I think it was a 110 or higher, which I was a lie. I didn't have to have that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I signed this big, long contract or whatever, and I didn't get nothing. I just had to go to RIP.
Like me, you came in under the Clinton era.
No, this was in the 80s when I came in.
Never mind. All right. The Reagan era.
Yeah.
Was Reagan?
I was already in third group when Clinton was president.
Jimmy Carter? I don't know. I'm bracketing here, I guess.
No, it would have been Bush or something.
Oh, Bush, the first Bush.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first Bush. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right before Desert Storm.
Yeah, no, a few years before Desert Storm. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No new taxes. So I went in under Clinton, and I remember on the contract, they had that, are you gay? And then they crossed it out, like, oh, we can't ask that anymore. What was your answer?
I didn't have to answer that. Well, I like chicks, so we'll get together.
Awesome. So, one thing about this podcast, I forgot to mention that we are so awesome, but just to make sure we're awesome, subscribe, like, follow, share. Let everybody know about us. Yeah, that might get moved around elsewhere. I don't. I leave it to the child genius over there.
There you go.
So, all right, you went to Ranger back.
Yep. And then in '89 we jumped in Panama. You know what I mean? And then in '93 I went to I signed. I went to Q courts in '92. '93 I went to if I got my numbers right, it's somewhere around there. It showed up the third group. So when I showed up the third group, third of the third was just standing up, and Charlie Company. I went to Charlie Company, and it wasn't at that time it was a provisional company, so they didn't have all the teams stood up yet. So they put a bunch of us on the B team until they got the team leadership for 396.
Gotcha.
So they stood up 96. I think 95 was already stood up, so I went to 96 and as we're the first guys on that team. So.
All right, the flank holders.
Yeah. Then I was there, and then that's rough. I almost quit and went back to Ranger Battalion.
Oh, really?
Literally, I walked into the arms room, and all of our M9s were wrapped in.
Like Cosmoline stuff?
No, they were tied together in with a 550 cord.
Okay.
So the whole team, so you got like 12 M9s, and it was Charlie Company had one wooden foot locker, then all 12 teams 9 mils in them.
Oh. They're like,
yeah,
there you go.
We had M16s back then. So the M16s were all Cosmoline, so we had to clean all those things up. So.
That was a shock because I was like, yeah, Special Forces, came in from 82nd. And we all at that point had, everybody had their little PS-14, little monocular.
Yeah.
And when I got to group, I was like, yeah, we got some cool shit. I know we do. And they give me a PBS-7. Well, not even a 14? Well, we got 2, I'm like, where's all the cool stuff?
Oh, we didn't have 14s, mate. I can't remember what it was. It was a big old.
Oh, you probably had 5s.
Yeah, maybe.
Which are cool, though, because at least those guys are,
Yeah, I can't remember
a
what
little flatter. We used to, when I was back in the day in the mechanized, the drivers had the 5s. And then we were cool because we had the 7s.
Yeah, we had 7s in Ranger Battalion.
Yeah.
We didn't even have machine guns in third back then.
Not even machine guns.
No, I don't even think we had a sniper rifle. If we did, I can't remember. All we had was M16s and M9s.
It was whoever could throw the farthest.
I was like, what kind of unit am I in here? Then they'd take your money, you'd deploy, and they'd take all your separate rations you get all at one time. Yeah.
That time.
Yeah, I got a no pay due. So I couldn't pay my rent or nothing. I was like, what kind of place am I in here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know they were going to take my separate rights. I was a new guy, deployed for 3 months, came back and took all my money. You know what I mean?
That's craziness. So what was it like in Rangerbad, though? I'm sure you had some fun stories there.
Yeah, I had a really good time there. I mean, it was a great place. I didn't want to stay there. I'm glad I left when I did, but I still keep in touch. I'm still really good friends with all the guys from my company there, especially from my battalion. That was almost like going to high school times 2 or whatever. So, and we all still keep in touch. We kept in touch all throughout our career and everything. We talked to each other on the phone all the time. So I made some really, really tight friends there, and we had I had a good time. There's some really good times. There's some bad times, but I mean, they're bad. I learned a lot, you know what I mean? So in hindsight, you know what I mean?
Some interesting shenanigans going along out there.
Yeah, I can't really talk about some of those, you know what I mean? So.
Some of these are still under jurisdiction. Ongoing investigations that we shall not talk about, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you. Yeah. So many war stories.
But the big thing, the big motivation in going to SF, because we had first group run across the street, and Desert Storm kicked off, and we pulled everybody got pulled out of all their schools, sit back, and the regimental commander came out and said, hey, you guys are going, once the flag goes, once it kicks off, you guys are going. So, but we ended up not going. Only one company, as far as I know, from first time, B company first time went to Desert Storm. So I was like, man, I joined the Army to go to war, not to sit here. I don't know what kind of unit I'm in. I'm out of here. I'm going to go to SF. Then they didn't have any guns. I was like, what am I in here?
Yeah.
So, but their group got better when I was there. So there was a big difference after the war kicked off. But all throughout the 90s, it was pretty rough over there. I mean, even in the late 90s, so we're getting our separate reds now. After Haiti, we started getting our separate reds, and we're actually making a little bit of per diem. But we still have to deploy T-Rats and MREs and all that stuff, and they were real finicky on the numbers. So, and we were deploying on C-141, so there's a weight limit on those things. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I remember our battalion commander came down and threatened to fire our team leader for bringing a mountain bike on there. If I see one mountain bike fired, so I was thinking, man, I should find a mountain bike, put it on there, get this dude fired. No, he's an all right guy. But,
yeah, team leaders, I think.
But once the war kicked off, everything changed in third group. You know what I mean? We got a ton of money. We started getting all kind of equipment.
And it was just like when 4th Battalion stood up.
Yeah.
It was like,
I remember watching that.
Yeah, so you were there for that.
Yeah, I wasn't in 4th Battalion. I was in 1st Battalion, I think. Then.
Yes, you were still in 1st Battalion.
So, but yeah, I watched all that ass painful 4th Battalion getting stood up. So.
Yes, I went to SWIC when 4th Battalion got stood up, and then from SWIC I ended up going to 4th Battalion. And that's where I think we linked up from there.
Yeah, I was in 4th Battalion for 3 years. I was S3 Sergeant Major for 3 years over there.
Which is fun times.
Yeah, I love being an S3
Me playing hide and seek. Me playing hide and seek for Mongold, and you like telling me where he's at. He's looking for you. Your beard's too long.
Yeah, no, that was some funny times there. Those guys could crush the morale.
Yeah.
That was, they weren't crushing my morale. I could watch it on you guys,
Yeah.
It was hilarious. They lined all the support kids up. Or somebody, I can't remember who they were, said this is in Afghanistan. They got some memo out that said, I can't remember what was going on, but they said that they were counseling all these kids, telling them they couldn't re-up because they were dirtbags, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So one of the kids came over to talk to me. I said, that's not legal, you know what I mean? So they kind of find out, they're like, oh man, so I mean, these guys' morale were down.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, you're already down at Bagram anyway, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So then they crush them even further, and I was like, man. And I was laughing about it, but felt bad for those guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I don't think that's legal. And a couple weeks later, they call them all back. Hey guys, it wasn't legal. Sorry, you can re-up.
My bad.
But for 2 weeks, these guys were like, we're thinking about suicide and all that stuff.
Wow. Oh, that was horrible times.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mind it because it's where I was. I was just visiting every so often.
I was there the whole time.
So you went to, how many trips did you do in Afghanistan?
In Afghanistan?
Yeah.
I think 12 tours in Afghanistan, maybe 11.
So
I did two in Iraq. We did the initial invasion, and then in 2005 to 6 we went back for a year for the it was a bad team mission. We were attached to 5th Group. It was terrible. It was a battalion augmented training team. So we had a mid team above us. So all of 3rd of the 3rd went over there, I think, except for I know Bravo Company and Charlie Company went over there. I'm not sure about Alpha Company.
Yeah,
and then
05, 06?
Yeah, and then the headquarters stayed back. We were attached to 5th Group, and so that's what our mission was. We had to link up with this Iraqi battalion, and which nobody, when we got there, nobody knew where they were. They had no clue even. So we had to search for them, and then we had to train them, and then take them out on missions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just rotate through with everybody. So, but we could only do. We couldn't do anything unilateral, or we could only be with those guys. There's a lot of rules on us, you know what I mean? So it's like one time they decided to take 30 days of leave, you know, so we couldn't do nothing.
For a whole month.
Yeah, so we went out with the infantry guys. I put 2 guys on a striker, you know, we just go hang out with those guys just to get out of the camp. But yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, we were there for a year. So that's my last tour as a team sergeant.
Okay. Of all the tours, like, what was your most favorite tour?
Probably we were fighting a lot though, but we weren't getting much sleep. But probably the 2004 trip, and we lost a bunch of guys, but 2004 trip to Afghanistan. So we were in Camp Tillman over there on the Paki border.
Yeah.
Then we went down and took back over Firebase Skin. In the very beginning of the war, the very first tour, my team established Firebase Skin.
Okay.
I wasn't a team sergeant then. I was like 18 box or something. And then now I'm a team sergeant a couple years later. We go down, the infantry was in charge down there. So we went down and replaced them, but we had to go recruit all these Afghans, start all over again. That's where we got Commander Aziz and all that. And
okay.
And
great guy, by the way. I don't know if he's still alive.
No, he's dead.
Yeah.
But we had a really good crew down there, and it was funny. We put them through a selection, had to do bugle stick fight and all this stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we had some good times, and we were allowed to. We could basically do anything we wanted to. It's our area, you know what I mean? So we had a good time on that trip. There were some bad times, of course, you know. And we got ambushed a couple times, lost some guys, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
And then the other team that was with us, they got ambushed, lost some guys.
Yeah, the freedom of operations.
But just the free, and then the guys that we hired at that point in time, those Afghans, they were great. I mean, they hated the Taliban. They wouldn't even have beards. I had to make them grow a beard. And then I go down there and check on them. They're down there get drunk, drinking Heinekens, you know. Well, where did you get that beer from? Pakistan.
Obviously, operations were different between Rangers and SF. And you said you're glad that you moved over to the SS side of the house.
Yeah, later on I was, but in the early 90s, at first I wasn't.
Yeah, could you see a remarkable change or growth from the deployment times and the way, we'll say, you guys operated combat-wise?
What are you talking about?
Well, I'd say, you know, like, okay, Bosnia, I was in Bosnia. And,
yeah, I was in Bosnia too. We were in Bayalina.
Oh, yeah? I was at Doble.
That was in 2000, I think.
So I was there in 98.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That might have been 99 when I was there. I can't remember.
I'd say probably 99.
It was right before the war, I know that.
And then...
Yeah, it was probably 99 because I think... I mean, I can't remember.
But
2000, 2001, we were in Africa the whole time. Like, man, I honestly can't remember.
It was a drunken blur.
It was something like
It was a drunken blur.
Some people can remember this all the time.
I tell you what, my last trip to Afghanistan, I got like the little T-wall thing, and it's got all the dates, just so I can reference. You know, commemorating. Yeah, I was there in for these many months. You know, blah blah blah. But I mean, ultimately, 3.5 years of my life was in Afghanistan. Probably a little bit longer for you.
Yeah.
With your a lot more trips than I did.
My wife hasn't figured it out, but I can't remember what the years are.
But like, and the interesting part, mine was spread out from 02, 03 where there was nothing.
Yeah, that's when we went over there in January of '02. We were in Africa in 2001 when the invasion kicked off.
Yeah.
We were in Nigeria.
Okay.
So we came back in December, and then I'm hitting your table. We came back in.
Could you tell my mentalness was like? Stop.
We came back in December, and then in January we went to Afghanistan.
So what I noticed was the change, like, 02, 03, and back they're still clearing out. We had to grab our food out of the MKT. They didn't even have any infrastructure.
Yeah, I remember that.
In the sandstorms, and it always seemed like the sandstorms were worse back then than they were like future.
Back then too, Bagram was two separate areas. You had to get to where the headquarters was, you had to leave the camp, walk down this, what's Disney Drive now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a dirt road, and walk down there, and then you got to go back through another security gate.
That
you know what I mean?
still happened to manage, and through all this, because I was there with the 82nd, they still had their little MPs out there with the radar guns, clocking the gators as they came by.
Yeah.
You know how fast you're going? No, it's not a speedometer. I don't even think there's a speedometer.
I got pulled over in Iraq for we were driving our compound, and this is in 05. Get pulled over for a taillight being out. I was like, "Are you kidding me, man? There's not a Napa Auto Parts around here."
This is a combat zone, No, it's just crazy. But there's some silliness even in that. 05 was when I was in SF, and that was my first trip in SF over there, Afghanistan. And it was fine. 05, 06, 06, 07, 2012 was awesome. And then the rest of them just kind of just got worse after that. But
hey, you weren't in D9 though. You weren't sitting there to jock sucking. You know what I mean?
No, I wasn't there. In fact, that got me in trouble when I first got there. I had Putnam was a sergeant major, and first he liked me until I came driving through with some Brits in the truck.
I did 2 tours as jock sergeant major, one in TK and one in hitting your table again, and one in Bagram.
Yeah. TK has one?
Hey, so
You're a company. Then.
No, so they stood up Soda Southeast. So I was a company sergeant major there. Then they stood up Soda Southeast, and I had to stay there for
an extra.
They got me. Penrod, you're staying here. I was like, oh man, not like I got a family or anything.
I tried to stay actually because I didn't have a family.
I was gonna go move in with MK across the street.
Yeah. No, not so much there. No, I didn't have any extra bonus. No, but it was just interesting, like watching the development and growth of the Afghans, watching notably, where they could have done better to improve things in general for Afghanistan. But, it went from, just please don't point your gun in my direction because I know you're going to pull the trigger anyway.
Yeah.
To, these guys didn't fire until they actually found a target to shoot at. Although my concern was to not be in front of them when they were shooting. There's been a couple of guys that learned that the hard way. But no, that was interesting to me, just the development. Going through from almost beginning to end, the whole cycle. To then what turned into be a disastrous expo. The white elephant in the room.
Yeah, I thought toward the end there, I wasn't on a team then with these guys, so I was on the outside looking in,
Yeah.
It just appeared to me that loyalties and the desire to be a soldier for the Afghans just kind of went away toward the end there. The last 4 or 5 years, at least that I was there from 2000. I'd say the last few tours I did over there, they just seemed like they were there. They didn't want to be there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They wanted to get out of there. They didn't care about fighting, and they were more. But they would shoot you over another Afghan, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I would say that. So you had to deal with the corruption in the beginning, where the paycheck trickles down to the commanders who took their cut and gave it to the guys, and there was no repercussions of anything. There was no military code of justice for them.
Yeah.
And then once that started establishing during the heyday years, I would say probably from 04 to 12, maybe 13. I don't know, I wasn't there for 13. If they were trucking right along, I think. And then...
Yeah, in 04, if I remember right, we were still paying them. We were still paying
that's
our...
why they're trucking right along.
Afghans. But not the A&A and all. I mean, the guys we had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we were still paying those. I'm pretty sure we were paying those guys, if I remember right.
Yeah. And then eventually they managed to get the electronic pay systems figured out. So they're getting... but just the professionalism, they were really there for the cause. And honestly, if I was somebody in charge way back in the day, people like Aziz, people who like, we had a sergeant major at our spot over at Spear 1 Gar, who would have been amazing, you know, put in charge of something. And then he died of an IED, you know, 2 days later. But those type of guys, had they got them in there, maybe running the country, you know, instead of some of the people they had who was kind of playing both sides, maybe it would have been better. Maybe it would have been different.
Yeah. Well, you take like Matulakhan over there, Rude's got, you know, us SF guys love the guy. The Afghans love the guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he controlled that whole, what was it, Route Bear?
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for him, nobody could be able to be looking down that road, you know what I mean? I'm sure he was getting a lot of kickback too and everything, but the Dutch, who were the battle space owners at the time, had him listed as a bad guy, you know what I mean?
Really?
So RC South and the Dutch and the battle, you know, that's battle space owner and stuff, this guy was shunned, you know, I don't know if that's the right word, but, you know, and, yeah, blacklisted here, you know, he was, you know, his dad was his dad? His dad was a bigwig, got killed, but he was with us in the beginning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be personally with another SFG.
With the cause.
Yeah.
So,
So,
fifth group guys?
yeah, I'm pretty sure some third group guys too. So,
So you were there on the initial?
in Burmel Valley, yeah. It was us, it's my team. We had a squad of Rangers. That was funny. Second Ranger Battalion, we had some Delta guys, I hit your table again. We had some Delta guys and some British SAS guys, or SPS guys.
Well, that's an interesting group of guys.
Yeah, it was great though, those little Rangers, because they were motivated. Like, hey, we're going to clear the high ground. Like, hey, get on it, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Go up there. Oh, man.
And that squad leader was like, you know, so we all had beards and long hair, and that squad leader was like, all right, making a call. You know, because they had high and tights back then, so.
No.
So making a call, we're going on a relaxed groove in Sanders. Then when the platoon showed up, that guy was low crawling all through the compound. And
No shit.
I told him, I said, buddy, I don't think that's a good idea. But I wasn't in charge of it, so.
Yeah, you do you guys.
And the Delta guys had a sergeant major there. So he was kind of in charge of those guys, and he didn't care. He was like, I don't care what you do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it was interesting. Yeah, 80 Deuce, we come in there. And this is our first big mission, you know. We went to, I want to say TK, Tarancal. At that time, it was just an umbrella. Or, not an umbrella, but a parachute. You know, that's where we all slept under the parachute. There's a couple of buildings there. I'm not sure if that was the right way, but it was one of those places. Way built up now. But anyway, so that was the night before the mission. We slept there. And then we go in our helicopter. We land on this big open area, which I was part of the planning team, the battalion planning team for this thing. Buck Sergeant at Stanfill. As the other, because I was engineer, combat engineer in 82nd. So my leadership went off with the 2nd squad to do the last ops for the 101st, because their engineers took off early. So they're like, Stanfill, you're in charge. I'm like, all right, let's do it, you know? So I get all the planning. I've got this colonel and his cool little robot guy, and I've got the EOD guys, and I've got my squad, you know, and we're like the center of this whole thing, because the whole point was going in there clearing caves. So here are our helicopters. We land on this spot. Everybody gets out. Helicopter goes away. And me, the buck sergeant, granted, just out of Ranger school, but I was like, hey, we should probably spread out. You know? I mean, nobody moved for like a minute, and I'm like, hey, we should probably spread out. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, so everybody goes and builds this larger perimeter. And, you know, we get eyes on, and we're doing our little snaking around, and next thing you know, someone's like, hey, there's guys out there with guns. And then, hey, I think there's an American out there with a beard. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they already got this place, you know? Like, all right, we're gonna tactical move. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, it was just hilarious. And then, the guys are like, yeah, man, waiting for you to get up here. Like, oh, we got to clear these caves. Oh, yeah, man, we've been through this like a couple months now, you know? Continue mission. It was like, wow, this is the 80 Deuce. Good times right there.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, yeah, because at that point, this was a mountainous area, and they were looking for a bird that was somewhere lodged in big rock fucking outcropping or some shit. But it was a lot of fun, and learned a lot, and I realized, you know what, SF or get out at that point.
Yeah.
But because I almost went civil affairs. Almost. I wonder what life would have been like.
Man, we probably would be talking right now.
No. But I did get a lot of friends who did go that route. I was like, nah, let's do it. Let's go all or none.
Yeah.
Between now Ranger School, what other schools did you do? Any cool guy schools?
No, I think I've been to all the schools. I went to Safari, Sodi. They had SOT back then,
Yeah.
I had a little school. I didn't do scuba school. I'm not a big runner. I don't like running.
I don't like drowning.
But when I was a sergeant major, I have to go, check on training. So I'd always go with the school guys, check on training.
There you go.
They go out there, a little Zodiac. All right, pick me up at the bar. So I was at the beach, but been to all the driving courses. Went to Griffin Group,
Oh, I tried so hard. I got a buddy who was over there,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't get there.
They had some other pretty cool driving courses too. And I can't remember their names now.
I did the Mid-South shooting school, and I did Blackwater.
Yeah, there's Blackwater and Airport School.
Yeah.
And we were saying guys Mid-South, Blackwater back then.
So, in all your years of experience in the military, what are some of the major life lessons?
Life lessons. So here we go. We're getting deep now.
Getting deep.
Well, I guess one of them was looking back on it was, and it seems like every time we'd show up to a deployment, to Bagram, it was like, or wherever, it's like, hey, it's game on time, all these married guys, that start banging everything and moved, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa, the girls too,
Yeah.
So I'm glad I never got mixed up in that because, some got a family now, Seen a lot of guys lose their families because of that, even while it was going on, but,
That was the worst thing getting to the teams was the dramas with the wives.
Yeah, wife drama, yeah.
And I was single at the time, especially when I started out, just dealing with everyone else's wife drama. Like you're sitting on the sidelines, you're just listening to it all unfold.
See, luckily when I was on a team in the team sermon, when we deployed, there wasn't any girls there, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but when we went to Iraq, there was I got to get the guys, and this is the second trip to Iraq. I was like, hey, where is everybody? And well, they were down at the nurses' barracks.
No.
So one guy on the team, or two, there might have been two there. I think I know where they're at, Brian. So we drove down there. I said, well, go down there and get them because I don't want to go get them.
Yeah.
So we're down in the nurses' barracks. So that's the one time I had to deal with that. But we're prepared for this question. Life lessons.
I love it. Try to catch you off guard. You should have seen what I asked General Bulldog.
What'd you ask him?
I was like, hey, so what was it like to retire? And he went like totally in another angle. He was like, well, it was more like fire. I'm like, oh, all right, this is touchy.
Yeah. I haven't listened to that.
Let's keep going then. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just all we got left are war stories, which are fun. But obviously, we don't live in the past. Just fun to visit.
Yeah.
But we do take obviously a piece of that and we apply it to future use. So, speaking of future use, let's talk about Veteran Harbor. This is our nonprofit. We run it for the sake of veterans in need. Currently, we have we're working through the process of getting our first house, the Veteran Harbor House down there in Stanford. Individual by the name of Robert Lee And you can check it out on the website, the Robert Lee Project. He's definitely down and out, and we are doing all we can to help him out to the point where he's helping us by providing us his property so that we can rebuild this house, because you literally see right through it right now. It's horrible. So that he could live there, and to support the veteran court system of Harnett County, to apply this as a place to live temporarily for those guys going through their system and their programs.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yes, so it's challenging. If you guys want to check it out, if you guys want to donate, you can always use a couple extra bucks, because this is going to be a very expensive effort. So check it out at www.veteranharbor.com. It's .com. I didn't think to get the .org. Apparently everybody else does.
.org, yeah.
I screwed the pooch on that one. You got any nonprofits or any causes and stuff?
No,
that,
no.
Nothing at all.
No.
Well, you did help me at my cause.
Yeah, I go around and help people. If they ask me, I'll go over there and help them out for their all.
Yeah, I'm calling you all hours of the night. Hey, what you doing?
But me personally, I don't have a cause. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't have a nonprofit or
Yeah.
not that I don't care. I mean.
No. Well, it all started out with trying to come up with something for Harnett County. And we were like, we could do something not just for them, but we could do something more bigger scale for others. So we started our own little thing. The idea of this really for Veteran Harbor is to just attach ourselves to other nonprofits and help them better themselves and be in a better position.
We go around and give I don't charge nearly as much, but we go around and do a lot of stuff for the different Gold Star organizations, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if I have time,
Yeah.
and if they let me know in advance.
You want to give any shout outs for those guys? Or?
I can't remember their names. I didn't write them down before I came. I asked if you'd give me a pretty question list so I can remember all.
I don't know about my question. I don't know the questions until you show up.
Yeah.
And look, I'm pulling this out of my ass as much as you are yours.
Yeah.
All right, so it's just.
Well, there's one I can remember. I can't remember. There you go. Right here.
It was there. I'm not.
Who are those guys that are out there rucking all the time? They're on.
The Go Ruck people. Will Reese. That's
Will
it.
Reese.
Will Reese. See, look, it comes to us. These answers are floating just above our heads. It's just whether or not we can receive them.
I have a hard time remembering things. So.
You and me both. I mean, I tell you what. My wife thinks I'm already getting on Alzheimer's.
Yeah, well, I got them in my phone, so when they call, I'm like, okay, I know that guys.
Oh yeah, my phone list I got because I'm a general contractor. So if the electrician calls, it's Steve, the electric guy. I've got a lot of guys, and everybody's a guy. I'm like, hey.
The Duskin Stevens Foundation, that's a good foundation. Those guys do a lot of good stuff.
Yes, and I loved their 3-gun.
Yeah.
It's sad that it went away.
I think they did a 3-gun this year. It wasn't them. It was the.
There's another one that they
organization
do
that ran it for them.
over out there on at Griffin Group, right? Or is it TRC?
I'm not sure where they did it at.
I'll say I liked the 3-gun.
I didn't go to the 3, but yeah, the 3-gun they used to do
on post.
Yeah, on post. Yeah.
At what, range 37?
Or
Not
they were
37.
doing
It was
65.
range 65. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun contest.
Yeah, I did 2 years in a row there, and then the next year I was like, yeah, let's do it, and then I was like, no, we're not doing it.
Range Control actually gave them a hard time setting that thing up.
And
if I remember right, the biggest thing too, believe it or not, was the shotgun. Which I could be wrong, but I think that was. I remember those guys complaining to me about the Range Control giving the hardest time about the shotgun. I was like,
why?
Why? You know what I mean?
That's the stuff out of range. You use the shotgun all the time.
Yeah, it's something to do with how they were shooting. I can't remember, but
that's silliness. So maybe on our behest, please bring it back. Range Control. I blame you. I have your number. I will call.
Yeah.
So, well, let's talk about now then. You retired when?
2016, December of 2016, I retired. So I've been retired about 5 years now.
Wow. See, and I was just under a year after you, I got out.
Yeah.
So I was letting you test the waters.
You got out a year before me?
Or a year after, yeah,
Okay.
November 17th.
All right, yeah.
So you're doing a lot of barbecue stuff now. Is that what you started when you got out?
Well, originally when I got out, I wanted to have a hobby, you know what I mean? So, you know, I used to ride motorcycles all the time and all that stuff, and I like to fish and all that, but my wife doesn't like doing none of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, man. So as I was sitting over there in Afghanistan going, man, what can I do, you know? I gotta have some sort of hobby, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it seemed like I was deployed every single year, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, I figure we need to have a hobby to stay together, you know what I mean?
She wouldn't ride with you?
No, she didn't like ride. I don't know what her problem is. But so I was like, well, we'll try to do these barbecue contests, you know. So I was doing that just for a hobby, and then I was trading
Doing day trades?
yeah, with foreign currency futures, you know.
Okay.
So I was doing that for side income, and within the barbecue thing built up. So we started doing that, and then all of a sudden we started getting really good, and we were winning a lot. And then we started getting invited to all these different events and stuff like that. And then we started catering, and then it just got huge. You know what I mean? It just got really big to where we're competing or doing some sort of event almost every weekend, and then cater 2 or 3 times a week. You know what I mean? So
I'll tell you one thing that comes to mind when you talk about barbecues: homos. Not just any homos, Homo erectus. You know, just to say that, Homo erectus, as a guy's like, you know, it's like,
I've
you know,
never heard anybody say this.
You don't like the homo portion, but erectus is okay, you know, but put them together and you got a pre-human guy. So, this is my odd factoid.
All right.
1 million years ago, Homo erectus is noted for being the first hominid, or the first upright walking guy to do barbecue. Apparently the guys before him were like, yeah, cold, yum. This guy's like, hey, fire, yum. And it went on from there, even Neanderthal. So there you go. I was reaching way back.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Never in my life. I don't think anybody's heard that before.
So, you know, you can use Homo and erectus in a sentence at the same time together.
Just don't think about me when you
Even Ty's laughing. He's like, oh my God. He said homo. I don't know. It's like, you know, homo jokes and fart jokes. You can't help it. You still laugh. You can be 19 years old, 12 years old, or 45 years old. You're still going to laugh. I don't know why. Just something back there in the brain. So that was my factoid. Give me something awesome. What do you got? You got to have some interesting tidbit.
So I looked up what a factoid was. It was different than a fact, you know what I mean? So factoid is something that's put out all the time that's known to be true, but it might not be true. You know what I mean? So seems how, you know, I go around barbecuing all the time.
Yeah.
My factoid for this is that, you know, they put it out all the time. Low and slow barbecue is the best way to cook a brisket. You know what I mean?
All right.
But that's not really true.
Oh.
I bet I can cook a better brisket than you in 4 hours, and you cook it in 14. You know what I mean?
I bet you could. Trust me, barbecue, I'm good.
So that's a factoid. It's not a fact. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So that's the question now: is Homo erectus, is that a factoid, or is that a fact?
It's got to be a factoid because I've never heard of it before.
Oh, there you go. I googled it. I googled it. So you believe everything you read on the internet, of course.
That's right.
So there you go. We stay true to our factoids. So, anything upcoming? What you got coming up?
We get hot and heavy again in March. So all of March we're hitting. This friend of mine, he's a really big barbecue guy. He's running a school. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go up there to his class in March, in the beginning of March, and then just get us prepped for the season again. And then every weekend after that, we're going again. So we're gonna be out in Western North Carolina. And then we go up to the next weekend. We'll be up in Urbana, Virginia. Then the weekend following that, we'll be in. It might be 2 weeks from there. We'll be up in the Raleigh area barbecuing at a big event there, and then we just go from there.
Now I love your name. It's the Bud Weiser barbecue.
Yeah, wiser. Not like the beer, but
Not
Bud
like the
is
beer.
wiser.
No copyright infringement on this.
Yeah.
How big are you on Facebook?
I don't know. I'm on there though.
I know you're on there.
Yeah. I don't know how big I am though.
No, I mean, like, are you actively on there, or do you just kind of like from the shadow? You see your eyes slits. You're.
I don't post much on my personal one, but on the barbecue one, yeah, I'll post on my personal one every now and then. But the barbecue one, I try to post.
I didn't even know you had a barbecue.
But it was just barbecue.
Well, I didn't know it was a Facebook page.
Yeah, Instagram and a Facebook.
Oh,
I'm all about social media.
I'm out of it.
Instagram is Bud_Wiser.
Ty, how come we're not on there? I'm blaming you.
And,
It's your fault.
Facebook is Budweiser's Barbecue.
Okay. Facebook, Budweiser's Barbecue. Follow him.
Bud_Wiser.
There you go. And Instagram. Follow him on all the social medias. He'll show you how to cook. Maybe.
Hopefully.
He'll keep some proprietary stuff to himself because he doesn't want to give out the secrets.
The Budweiser guys actually liked it. So right when COVID hit, I was traveling to an event, and I got called up saying that I was somewhere in South Carolina. I got called up saying the event was canceled. So we pulled into this parking lot, because I don't want to keep driving all the way down there,
Yeah.
So all the Budweiser guys pulled in too, like corporate guys. So they had like their little Budweiser little cars and stuff, not the delivery trucks. And they're like, man, that is a cool name. So then we got to talk. They were talking to my wife, and I came out, and so they wanted me to do this event for them. So we were going to do this big event for them, and barbecue for cook for some corporate event they had down there. And but of course, everything that was right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
So,
That'd been March, April,
yeah,
May.
it was right when everything got shut down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were going to a NASCAR event. That's what we were doing.
Okay.
And NASCAR, this is the first one that, so we were going to Darlington.
Okay.
So we weren't all the way to South Carolina yet when we stopped. But so the Darlington race got canceled that day. Well, we were getting down there on a Friday, and the race was on they had some other secondary race on Saturdays.
Okay.
And then so we were supposed to do something for that, and then we're going to do something on the actual Sunday of the NASCAR race, and if I remember right, and all that got canceled right at the last minute, so.
En route.
So.
Well, at least you hooked up with the barbecue guys, or the Budweiser guys.
Yeah, but that ended up not panning out either. They called so bad because, COVID,
Oh, well, what about now,
I haven't heard from them since. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago, so. Yeah. 2020 was a really, that was a bad year for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, especially. Not so much for me. I like, when the word was coming down, I was like, okay, guys, we're going to work an extra day on Saturday. And then Monday, it happened. Like, the hammer fell, and I poked my head up out of the foxhole, and I'm looking around. Really, nothing changed. I'm like,
no, it wasn't I might have been saying it wrong. It wasn't really a bad year, but every time we tried to do an event, it got canceled. And nobody knew anything, you know what I mean? So it'd be like, hey, we're trying to do this event, or hey, we want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 days prior, it was like, all right, we're canceled, you know what I mean? And then pretty soon, everybody just canceled everything. And right before COVID hit too, we had done we catered a wedding, and the wedding coordinator there was some big time dude. He had some big time company. He goes, hey, I do 400 events a year. You know what I mean? He said, I want to use you at every single one of them, otherwise physically possible,
Yeah.
But I was like, well, I'll try to do as many as I can.
Yeah.
And then, COVID hit, and then his business went out.
Yeah.
It went under, as far as I know. I haven't heard from that guy, or he's off of all social media and everything now. So.
Wow. No, that's tough. Yeah. No, and that's
or he could have died of COVID. I don't know.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
We got two different fields. Mine was a construction field, and although I had guys under me, we were working out of like two completely empty houses at the time. So I was like, we could continue we Charlie Mike because nobody in my group had COVID. So we're like, all right, keep going. Got the little letter saying we were essential business.
Yeah.
And then construction. I wish, probably not so much as a catering barbecue business.
Yeah, I mean, we do some lunches, like some guys would call up other days,
Slim.
We have to deliver it in a little styrofoam box, I mean? I was like, this is stupid,
In its little bio bag, like 3 levels of decontamination. Here's your alcohol wipes. Make sure you wipe the food down before you eat it.
Yeah.
So, but business is picking up now.
Yeah, I took a month off just because I'm doing the stupid college stuff too. So that, and then all the catering and the competitions and stuff. Mid-December, I was burned out. I was like, man, I need to take a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took a break. We did Thanksgiving or Christmas and all that, and so now we're picking back up now. So
Okay. Now you almost made it to the big time, the big show, on one of the networks.
yeah, so Netflix calls me up, this casting agency. So this is the second time a casting agency got a hold of us. So then they called up and they said, hey, look, we want you to, would you mind applying we'd like for you to apply for the show. And I said, all right, sure. I was thinking no big deal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then they're like, hey, you need to make a video. I was like, what? I don't know how to make a video, you know what I mean? So I got Mike Wallace over there. He's used to be a dog handler in their group. He has some video company now. So he came over. He did it for free for us. He made he videotaped us at the Beef and Beer event, and he did a couple other videos for us. Sent that in for Netflix. I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm done now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they dumped this other requirement on me, right? So it's like, man. So I had to do some more videos, and some other things. And then they turned it in. So I'm thinking, I'm done now, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you made it to the next phase. I was like, man, how many phases are there? I'm kind of a busy guy for all this.
It's almost worse than selection.
Yeah, so I was, and they're like, hey, we want you to do this live Zoom cooking thing with the Food Network. So I'm thinking, all right. I'm like, who's paying for all this? You know what I mean? Because now I gotta go buy all this chow, right? And so they said, hey, we'll pay it. So then they started paying me, So I was getting little stipends for it. And then January, I believe it was in January. I told you when I did make it, right?
Yeah. So
was that December or
September. September we talked about it. October.
It might have been December when they
I think
told
it
me.
was December.
So December, they're like, so I go through all this, and these guys are calling me. I mean, on the phone. Hey, we're going to let you know in a couple days.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, great. And all of a sudden, I get an email. Sign door. Hey there. We decided to go a different direction. I was like, get bit, buddy. You know. And that's
business is tough. Show business is tough, I guess.
yeah.
Unless you got like millions of dollars, you can make your own videos.
Yeah.
Make your own shows.
I'm going to start doing YouTube barbecue videos and other type of videos this year.
Okay.
We're getting the equipment set up to where I can just film it over top, and then we're going to start having guys film us in the trailer. So we're going to start getting more. We're going to get some videos out there, and stuff like that.
Nice.
This year. I'm going to build up a whole set of them first, then just start publishing them.
Yeah.
Like a week or so at a time, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like with our thing, first 15th of every month, that's when I try to get one out.
Yeah, I screwed you this month.
Nah, no worries. I had a backup. Just kidding, Chad. You weren't my backup.
Great.
You just ruined it for everybody.
Why, did you get somebody in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt really bad.
So I don't know if you know him, Chad, who we call him Chad the Dude with a last initial B. Last name, the initial B. He does the Kraken Skull stuff.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He's really out there. I mean, great guy. We sat down here for an hour and, bullshitted.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing a lot for me from what I hear,
He definitely is, yes. And appreciate that. He threw out what he does. Like you, he doesn't like to be affiliated with any known organized type non-profit thing, but definitely is. He's doing great things. The Baby Kraken program thing that he's doing. They're doing like some sort of ski trip coming up, I guess.
I haven't heard about that. But,
so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about him though, I don't know how many business people are on this thing, but the Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce is actually a pretty good organization down there for small business. They do lunch or breakfast once a month, a monthly breakfast. I can't remember where it's at right now for this month, but
Okay.
But you get a little networking thing, you know what I mean?
All right. Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, they're a pretty good organization. So.
Well, I guess that wraps it up here for another episode of the Sierra Oscar Foxtrot podcast. I am Brian, and once again, with me, thank you for your, showing up and doing awesome stuff and talking.
No problem, man.
Brian, the barbecue boss, Penrod.
Dr. Barbecue.
Dr. Barbecue.
I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please like and follow so you can stay in the know for the next one.